The skunk. Up, black, striped and damasked like the chasuble at a funeral mass, the skunk's tail paraded the skunk. Night after night I expected her, like a visitor. The refrigerator whinnied into silence. My desk light softened beyond the veranda. I began to be tense as a voyeur. After 11 years, I was composing love letters again, broaching the word wife like a stored cask, as if its slender vowel had mutated into the night, earth, and air of California. The beautiful, useless tang of eucalyptus spelt your absence. The aftermath of a mouthful of wine was like inhaling you off a cold pillow. And there she was. The intent and glamorous, ordinary, mysterious skunk, mythologized, demythologized, snuffing the boards 5 feet beyond me. It all came back to me last night, stirred by the footfall of your things at bedtime, your head down, tail up hunt in a bottom drawer for the black plunge-line nightdress. Like many of his poems, this is based on a real event. It was based at a time when he was in California and she was at home in Derry, his wife, that is. And it's an unusual poem, not least of all because he's describing his wife in terms of a skunk. But he's also describing a skunk as well. So the two things merge into one. So first of all, you've got a couple of unusual words. Damasked, this word here in the first line here. And that means it's a rippled pattern that you often find on linen and silk. And the chasuble, the word after it there, is the garment that the priest is wearing, as you can see it in the right-hand image there. Okay, so that sort of image at a funeral mass. Now, you can definitely see the similarities between that and a skunk. I have a picture of a skunk down here. Here is our skunk. But to be describing your wife as that difficult, well, we see how he gets on with that. So every single night, the skunk's tail paraded the skunk, and every night he waits. I expected her like a visitor. Now, obviously, him being from Derry, he never saw a skunk before. But wherever he's staying, wherever his lodgings are, he expected her to come every night, and she did. And there she was, and he was fascinated by her. Okay, we'll get to that later. He sets the scene very well. There's sounds. It's an extremely sensuous poem. The refrigerator whinnied into silence. So it's personified as sort of a horse or something along those lines. My desk light softened beneath the veranda. So the mood is not harsh lights, but it's very much a poem at night. This takes place at night. Small oranges loomed in the orange tree. So it's not full-grown oranges. There's something small. It reminds me of the Ivan Boland poem called This Moment. Rinds slanting around fruit. Something is getting ready to happen out of sight. So something is getting ready to happen. And he says, I began to be tense as a voyeur. And this word is a bit problematic because a voyeur is somebody who enjoys watching others often engaged in intimate behaviour, sort of like a peeping Tom. But he becomes tense because something is about to happen. But in this case, what he is watching is not intimate details, but rather the skunk, and he's waiting for the skunk to come in. And then he tells us what he's doing. What's he doing out in the porch? After 11 years of being married, I was composing love letters again. Broaching, there's a word missing just here, which is annoying. The word is word. Love letters again, broaching the word wife. So he's missing her. He hasn't, he's away from her for the first time in 11 years. He would have written love letters previously, before they were married. But when you're married, you don't need to write love letters because you see that your lover, your wife, every single day. So basically what he's saying is it's a bit like a stored casket. I'm digging something up from the past. Oh, we'll get to her in a minute. Something precious, something wonderful that I remember doing a long time ago, 11 years ago, but I haven't done it in a long time. As if its slender vowel, and the slender vowel we're talking about there is the I of wife. That's the slender vowel. Is the same slender vowel that you find in California. And he's basically saying here, as if the slender vowel of wife had mutated into the night air of California. He's suggesting that by calling her to mind through the letters, it's almost as if she's there present with him. And by writing the letters, he's thinking of her, and that's the same as if she's there. So even though he's smelling the air of California, he imagines that she is there with him. He talks about the beautiful, useless tang of eucalyptus spelt your absence. It's quite likely that there's eucalyptus trees that would grow in that climate a bit better than in Ireland, and he smells it because maybe she wears a eucalyptus perfume or soap or something like that. The aftermath of a mouthful of wine was like inhaling you off a cold pillow. They say that sense, taste and smell and sounds can really trigger memories that have been locked away for a long time. But when he takes a mouthful of wine, the aftermath of a mouthful of wine, that sort of that aftertaste, it's like inhaling you off a cold pillow, picking up a cold pillow in the morning, maybe fluffing it up to make the bed, and smelling your lover. In a good way, not in a bad way. This poem is called Skunk, but he's not actually saying anything negative about it. There's no sense of smell or anything like that. But these are good smells. The smell of eucalyptus, the like inhaling you off a cold pillow. He misses her, and that's what he's trying to get across. And there she was. So now he gets into it. Finally, the skunk has arrived. The intent and glamorous. Intent, the skunk is there for a purpose. Maybe it's food. And glamorous, beautiful. That's what the word glamorous means. Really beautiful. Ordinary, mysterious. Now these two words do not fit comfortably together. Ordinary and mysterious. Because how can you be both ordinary and mysterious? But it says something about the nature of marriage. He finds his wife to be, he knows he's been living with her for 11 years, so he knows her intimately. But she also still retains mystery for him. And that's what love is. As well as that, these two words here, mythologized, means to put someone on a pedestal and say they are greater than this. They have a great mystery about them and there's legends about them. But demythologized means to strip away all that and actually get to the truth. And for him and his marriage, there's a bit of both. There's a lot of both in actual fact. There's the wonder and the mythology of a woman. But there's also this person he lives with whom he knows intimately. And all of this comes back to him, stirred. Again, there's a blurring of time here. It came back to me last night, stirred by your sootfall of your things at bedtime. There's various different interpretations of that maybe she's throwing clothes up into the air, clothes that perhaps are dirty. I don't think it's that at all. So now he's back in Ireland, and he's with her and he's thinking of her. Hey, this is what she's doing, and we have to look at this. Her head down, tail up hunt in a bottom drawer for the black plunge line nightdress. She's looking for the sexy clothes. These are the clothes that you only bring out on special occasions. It's not the floral nightie. This is the special occasion nightdress. And so I chose this image here for that. I had to explain that one. And so basically she's, if you can imagine this, she is down at a bottom drawer. She's opening, I think she's probably throwing out behind her clothes, and those clothes are all black, which is why they're sootful. There may be little, pieces of lingerie, the special knickers, the nice bra, and she's thrown them up in the air, but she's looking for one thing, and that is the black plunge line nightdress. So a bit like the skunk, she's down there with her bottom in the air, looking for the black, and then when she puts it on, her skin is the white, and the nightdress is the black. And that is, that's what he's trying to get across in this poem. So hopefully you get a sense of that, the sensuousness of the poem, the smells and the tastes. But really what he's not saying anything negative about his wife at all. Believe me, he's actually saying his wife and a skunk are similar simply because he still finds this ordinary animal really quite mysterious, and he still finds his wife, even though she's ordinary, to be very mysterious, and he remembers the image of the skunk. That's that.